Serial killers are people who deliberately kill 3 people or more. They are usually psychopaths, that is, people with little empathy and superficial charm, usually intelligent and without having to establish deep relationships with others. Usually, and as can see, the causes of the murders are often both power and sexual cravings. So in this video, we are going to talk about the top 5 most sadistic serial killers. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 5. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is by far the most infamous serial killer of all time. There are many serial killers who have a higher count of victims than him, but what makes him unique is the fact that very little is known about him. Jack the Ripper was a proficient and strategic serial killer who managed to mask his identity even from the famous Scotland Yard police force. He was largely active in the Whitechapel district of London in 1888, which is why he is also sometimes referred to as the Whitechapel Murderer. Jack the Ripper targeted female sex workers who he considered easy targets because they lived near the slums, which had less of a police presence. What made the murders so gruesome was the fact that he mutilated the corpses in a grotesque fashion. The murder of Mary Jane Kelly was the most barbaric of all his acts. Her body was mutilated beyond recognition, with her face hacked away. Number 4. Cayetano Santos Godinho. He was the first SK in Argentina's history. He was born on Halloween, the last of 10 kids. His parents were Carlsbad immigrants who moved to Buenos Aires to escape poverty. They were also running from the personal tragedy of their firstborn, 10-month-old son's death from cardiac affection. Cayetano was doomed before his parents ever conceived him. His father was an alcoholic and played the guitar. One thing led to another until he contracted syphilis from one of his fans. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease whose cure is penicillin that wasn't even been discovered yet. That didn't stop Fior from wanting his little man satisfied. So Cayetano was made. During his earliest years, he was on the brink of death several times with enteritis. This nasty infection is usually caught by eating or drinking contaminated food or water, improperly prepared food, poor hygiene or sanitation, or close contact with an infected person or animal. Number 3. Albert Fish. By 1890, at age 20, Fish had moved to New York City. There he engaged in male prostitution and began molesting and raping boys, mostly younger than 6 years old. In 1898, Fish's mother arranged a marriage for him with Anna Mary Hoffman, who was 9 years his junior. They had 6 children: Albert, Anna, Gertrude, Eugene, John, and Henry Fish. In 1903, Fish was arrested for grand larceny, convicted, and incarcerated in Sing. Fish later recounted an incident in which a male lover took him to a wax museum, where he was fascinated by a bisection of a human penis and subsequently became obsessed with sexual mutilation. Several years later, around 1910, Fish was working in Wilmington, Delaware, when he met a 19-year-old man named Thomas Kedden. He took Kedden to where he was staying, and the two began a sadomasochistic relationship. It is unclear whether or not Fish forced Kedden to do these things, but his confession implies that Kedden was intellectually disabled. Number 2. John Wayne Gacy. To most of his suburban Chicago neighbors, John Wayne Gacy was a friendly man who threw popular block parties, volunteered in local Democratic politics, and often performed as a clown at local children's parties. But Gacy, who had already served a stint in prison for sexually assaulting a teenage boy, was hiding a horrific secret right beneath his neighbors' unseeing eyes. In 1978, when a 15-year-old boy who had last been seen with Gacy went missing, police obtained a search warrant for Gacy's house. Under the pseudonym of the Killer Clown, he went after his parades and children's parties, to which he came disguised as a clown. His crime was to assassinate nothing more, nothing less than 33 young people, of whom 26 were buried in the basement of his house. The remainder finished 4 in a river and 3 in other places of his house. Number 1. Ed Gein. Serial killer Ed Gein, sitting in the back of a police car after being arrested. He supposedly murdered 11 people, eviscerating them and hiding body parts in his house. The man whose macabre and horrific acts helped inspire Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre grew up in an isolated area of Wisconsin. He was an abused child of an alcoholic father and a puritanical and domineering mother who instilled in her son a pathological fear of both women and sex. When his father, brother, and mother died within a 5-year period, he was left alone at the family farm, where he eventually cordoned off parts of the house, turning it into a shrine of sorts to his mother. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.